I was going on, people just joining Abomination. Appreciate y'all coming through, checking out the video. Now today, kind of a weird topic, not really a weird topic, kind of a weird headline. But this video or this headline, I'm glad it came up because, you know, my pastors are ardent animals. I've made no content on this channel about animals. And this right here is kind of crazy. There's a lot of terms, a lot of words going around, buzzwords that can create and can get a quick emotional reaction out of a lot of people. Some of those words will include representation, misogynist, racist, white supremacist, trolls is becoming acceptable. But this one that we're going to see in this headline, Shark Week lacks diversity, overrepresents men named Mike, scientists say. So representation, that's in there, and diversity. And I'm pulling it up, I'll read through that. I haven't read the entire thing, I skimmed through it, so my thoughts will be kind of fresh. I'll be receiving the actual information, but from what I did read so far, it's fallible. I think that's the word. It's weird because if you, with this representation thing and with the diversity, it seems to be based on the outer, it's very superficial, what you can see from a person as opposed to what they actually bring to the table. What value do they actually bring to you and yours, your company, your business, your platform, all that good stuff. And that's crazy because with that line of thinking, being able to see yourself in somebody, to be inspired by them, I would figure that would be ableist. That's another word, a buzz term that I get seen thrown around a lot. So if you have to see yourself in a person, then blind people just, I guess, ain't gonna amount to shit. Cause they're like, darkness is literally all they see.
You darkness, you black midnight evil mother.
But I mean, there's been, you know, some successful blind people. I can't name one off the top of my head besides like Stevie Wonder. But that's the point. You can, you know, he can feel the keys. You can still adapt. You can still do things. What I'm saying is, you don't have to see yourself necessarily to be a better person or to be inspired or to go after something. But this is me. This is my emotional reaction, okay, from what I've seen. Let me read the article. Let me see what this person talking about. Besides, Washington Post is just trash for creating this or for posting this, for whatever the term is, for publishing. I think that's what it would be. And if I was like, dang, this is by Daniel Wu. So I was like, is he the person? Is this Asian dude? Is he talking about lack of diversity? But no, there's an actual person, and I'm supposed to be looking at her. Let me see what she looks like. What was her name again? Lisa Whiteneck. And I'm just gonna see if she black with a name like Whiteneck. I'm not saying it can't be a black name, but I've never heard of that in my communities. Okay, this is it. Allergeny, whatever. So this is that person. So I am completely wrong, people. This person is, I don't know what this lady is. And I said I've never heard this name, but lady, that honestly makes it even worse. Because this lady looks like everybody that I've seen on on any animal documentary across all stations on TV, stations, channels, networks, whatever. Oh my goodness, y'all, if I'm wrong, you know, y'all can shit on me in the comment section, but I'm doing my research. It lines up. This is the college. I'm not about to look too far into this lady, find out her actual biological makeup or genealogy or whatever it's called. But this ain't a black woman. But let me just go through this article because you need to see yourself. Like, what is she saying when she's seeing these people? Now, I'm not saying all pale people look the same. I'm not saying she's just white. I know this lady is something, but like I said, as a black person watching these shows, she looked like, at first glance, like the people I've seen, which include Steve Irwin. Off the top of my head, everybody knows him. Him and his wife, Terry Irwin. I can mistake this lady for, you know, somebody related to her. Jeff Corwin. What really got me into I'm not gonna say got me into loving animals, because I think animation really had a lot to do with that. The Lion King is probably probably first movie I ever seen, favorite movie of all time. But seeing stuff like that, animated animals, as well as my dad will watch Discovery Channel, and I'll be watching with him, and I think that's where a lot of this came from. But PBS Kids, as a child, I'm watching a bunch of little kid or animal programs, kid shows that talked about animals and educated kids about animals, like Zaboomafoo, for instance. Chris and Martin, Kratt Brothers, two white guys. Again, I don't know the specific origin or where they from, they peoples, but I saw two white dudes on the TV with a goddamn lemur. And sometimes it was a puppet, sometimes it was real, but that lemur and them two white dudes was chilling with all the fucking animals that came through Animal Junction. And then we had songs, and we did little projects with the animals. We went on adventures, all that type of good stuff. It sucks that I can't think of any black animal experts off the top of my head, but there still was a passion created in me, spurred in me. Watching Cesar Millan, Mexican, super Mexican when he first started getting on, or people knowing about him, and it was just worked with dogs in a way that I didn't even think was possible. Didn't even think it was a real thing. I was thinking like most people, where you think your interaction with the dog is the sits, the downs, the stays. But this dude was actually teaching about dog behavior and how to communicate with these animals. So that was my animal mentor. Not exactly animal mentor, y'all. I'm going off. I'm talking a lot, but again, I love animals, and it comes from a lot of different places. I've seen this all over the place. So it really just kills me when people say like this need for diversity, because I can understand what people are trying to say with that, but I still think it's being weaponized, and with this forced diversity, it's not being honest. So it's not bringing anything really of value. You just got people that just coming in that's just gonna check those boxes, okay? And to blame some network or some media outlet or what you see on TV for your shortcomings, that's just a terrible outlook on life. All right, I already read the title. Shark Week lacks diversity, overrepresents men named Mike, scientists say. Researchers say Discovery's programming overwhelmingly featured white men as experts while emphasizing negative messages about sharks. Like what? Like they was dangerous? Damn straight. Now, yeah, I was shitting on Daniel Wu, but he just got the information. It turns out he's a fucking intern, so they probably just threw this project at him, and hey, go talk to this later, man. She complaining. All right, we got a picture of a shark. I don't know my sharks like that. I'm assuming it's a great white. Anyway, I'm doing a whole lot of scrolling. My bad. Lisa Whitenack loved sharks as a kid. She spent rainy days leafing through a guide to sharks in Reader's Digest. Every summer, she would watch Shark Week, Discovery's annual TV event that spotlights the ocean predator with 7 days of dedicated programming. But when the scientists appeared on her TV screen, she rarely saw any women she could look up to. Okay, so is it women? Is it women? See, I was thinking it was a colored thing. But again, I was recording this. I didn't really read it all the way through, so a lot of this will be new information to me. But I read it enough to know that I wanted to talk about it. So she's saying there wasn't a lot of women. Well, I feel you with the Shark Week thing, but I don't remember actually seeing a lot of humans there. I'm not saying they weren't. You had the people sitting on the boat and going in the shark cages and shit, talking about all that. But I know Jane Goodall does great work, or did great work with apes. I think chimps specifically, and that's a real person. But also seeing the fucking Eliza Thornberry on Nickelodeon talking to animals and trying to do right by them but help them out and stuff. So, and then I just said Terry Irwin, Steve Irwin's wife. Why would I know I could do that? Why would I know I could do that? White Knack said, I don't come from a family of scientists. I didn't see very many people that looked like me on television. Okay, that's the mentality. That's the mentality. Now, I'm not going to go in too hard, but that's what I mean by relying on media or the television or a screen, somebody else to instill these values and passions in you. When I think that's something that the parents should have the most control of and introduce their child to different things so that the child can know what they like or what they dislike.
Oh dear, I've said too much.
And as far as, being inspired by somebody on TV, that person doesn't have to look like you to do that. Just that person's love and drive and passion, doing it and showcasing it and showing a kid that it's possible like that. I'm not saying that should be enough, but that is a spark. That's a little ember, or can, get that fire going in you to go after what you want. Because it's a real fucking profession. Apparently, there's people on TV doing it. All right, White Knack, now a biology professor at Allegheny. Look, I don't know, but there you go. This college in Meadville, Pennsylvania, found her way into shark research anyway.
But this is outrageous. It's crazy.
Like I said, man, you watching people fucking do the work with these animals on TV, then you just say, oh, there's a profession. How do I do that? When the pandemic lockdowns came in 2020, she saw an opportunity to study the source of her old misconceptions. So she just said, fuck it. I can't talk to no here, but I'm gonna talk to some sharks. Was Shark Week feeding audiences the wrong messages about sharks and who studies them? I don't even think Shark Week was even thinking about any of this shit. Which is why we still talking about it to this day, because it just focused on the content, the research, the information that was being put out. White Knack led a team of researchers to examine hundreds of Shark Week episodes that aired between 1988 and 2020. God damn. In a study published last month by the Public Library of Science, their research claims that Discovery's programming emphasized negative messages about sharks, lacked useful messaging about shark conservation, and overwhelmingly featured white men as experts, including several with the same name. All right, she talking about specifically about Shark Week, but like I said, man, fucking Steve Irwin was Australian. That's not a pasty white. From what I've seen. And unfortunately, this man died from a creature in the fucking water. So, I've seen him out there doing it. He wasn't no stranger to wild waters and the animals within them and the marine wildlife. The programming featured more white experts and commentators named Mike than women, said David Schiffman, a conservationist at Arizona State University, who was co-author of the study. So you mean to tell me y'all asses getting paid to study animals and you wasting time studying humans? The humans that study the animals? We need to know about them as opposed to information about the animals. When there are hundreds of people of color interested who work in this field, people of color, there you go, lump us under that umbrella. Now see, this is what I mean. I thought she was black. I was about to go off, but then she was something else, something more fair skinned. And I was like, all right, let me listen to what this lady got to say. Let her tell her truth. But here she go, people of color. So she lumped us under that umbrella with her. So going back to what I said, lady, I didn't see nobody that looked like me that I could think of off the top of my head. But my black father was showing me Discovery Channel and all these animals and wildlife and doing stuff. So somehow I still found a way to be passionate about animals and to work with them. Domestic dogs, sure. Right now, ain't no telling where I'll be in the future. And like I said, Cesar Millan was Mexican as fuck working with them dogs. And I was like, yes, I want to do that. And when my field is more than half women, maybe it's not an accident anymore that they're only featuring white men, Schiffman said. Discovery did not respond to a request for a comment on the study's findings, because they was like, bro, get out of our face with this shit. The company told NBC Boston that it wouldn't comment on a study that has yet to pass any scientific approvals. They're like, bro, you ain't talking about the fucking science. I ain't trying to hear that. After a preliminary version was presented 2021, it has since undergone a scientific review. Whitenack said, see, wasting resources. A photographer aimed his camera. All right, I don't see the picture. Shark Week, a 34-year tradition and consistent ratings draw for Discovery. See, that's what I said, watching Discovery Channel. That was my first, I think that was the first kind of animal network that I saw. And then Animal Planet started coming out and getting popular. And then Nat Geo Wild. And then, like I said, the PBS Kids, they would have all type of stuff. And then with PBS Kids, yes, the Crap Brothers was white, and then they had this one girl on there, which I can't remember her name. I think she had like red hair, but she would be basically like the child ambassador. She would receive the mail or videos from all the kids. See, this back when these kids networks they'll tell you like mail in this and send this letter here, and a lot of people, fan mail, that was a big thing. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be one of those people. One day I'm going to send me a letter and they're going to read my letter on the TV. Anyway, it didn't happen. But you see a mix of different kids. So you saw all different colored kids who were passionate about working with animals. And then the little girls be like,
yeah, but every animal friend is different. Some like to play and be petted. Others are a little shy and can get scared if you get too close.
That's why you should only go near an animal when an adult says it's okay. Right, Zabu?
Make sure you don't approach an animal unless an adult says it's okay. Like, respect the animals. And I was like, yes, I'm going to respect the animals. I'm going to ask humans if it's okay if I interact with the animals before. And then I learned how to communicate with animals. And I learned, okay, I'm going to see if the animal even wants me to come over there and make contact with them. I'm going to ask them if it's okay. Yeah, man, seeing all the different little colored kids sending their letters. It was beautiful. What am I talking about? Scientists and TV critics blasted the event in 2020 for announcing a roster of TV specials that featured 6 white men out of 8 named experts. Hey, sucks to be a minority sometimes, don't it? Speaking as a minority. Whitenack's study found that the trend persisted throughout almost all of the television event's history. Over 90% of the 229 experts featured in 201 Shark Week episodes were white, the study found, and about 78% were men. Carly Bohannon, a marine biologist and co-founder of Minorities in Shark Sciences. Yeah, man, these are real little organizations, and yeah, it happens. College is a weird place, man. Praised the study for putting numbers to her and her colleagues' long-standing concerns about diversity in both the media and shark science. When Bohannon, bro, that's my thing. If you really cared about these animals, it doesn't matter what you look like, putting in the work. Are you putting in the work? Are you making these animals' lives better? I'm still not saying what fucking terrible information, misleading information that they putting out about sharks. She's just bitching about the color of these humans. But anyway, when Bohannon founded her organization with 3 other black scientists in 2020, so now we done switched to Bohannon. Now we getting her perspective, and I guess this is a black woman. So her and 3 other black ladies, it was the first time any of them had met other black women in their field. Bro, that's when y'all make a Facebook group or some shit. Interact, hang out, do that type of stuff. I don't know, but y'all do that. We all grew up seeing one type of person on TV, Bohannon said. Shark Week was really the biggest thing, and it was always filled with white men. It was filled with great whites. They was fucking sharks, though. Black tip reef sharks. Yeah, some of those. you had a what they said they was gonna bring you, fucking sharks. They delivered. According to a separate diversity study co-written by Schiffman. All right, there's another person. Separate diversity study. More than half of the members of the American Elasmo Branch Society, an academic group supporting the study of sharks and other fish, are women. But over 70% of the group's leadership positions have been held by men. Women in marine sciences can also face a misogynistic culture.
Life's not fair, is it?
Buzzword. Marine biologist Catherine McDonald wrote in Scientific American in 2020. So this is a woman saying men bad, and we don't like women, or women are lesser because they're women when it comes to getting attacked by sharks. Women suck at it more than us. Shark Week further concentrate. Look, it don't matter who you are. If you're gonna put in the work and do the job, you're valued. You should be valued. That's why I don't speak really on anybody that's willing to go to war for the country. Hey, I don't want to do it. If somebody willing to do it, get their ass out there. That's better than me being out there. If a woman willing to put her ass on the line to get close to a shark and be in the cage and do all that, hey, there you go. Let's get her in there. Get her in that wetsuit. Shark Week further concentrates power in the form of publicity and media attention in the hands of white male featured scientists, exacerbating academic power imbalances, McDonald wrote. And that's a lot of buzzwords. There's a whole lot of study of people, not about sharks. In the latest study, Whitenack and the other researchers also found that more Shark Week episodes included stories of attacks and other fear-mongering messaging than positive language describing sharks as awe-inspiring or ecologically important, which the study called a missed opportunity. Now, I saw a great mix because it was Shark Week and it wasn't all sharks attack people. You see sharks fucking living shark life, swimming, eating, breeding, communicating. I remember the bait balls when you see the sharks working with is it like sea lions, and then the birds, what are they, albatrosses or and then you see the whales come in, and all of these animals are working together, and they've been doing this for centuries, so they know, okay, this animal, this group gonna hit them low, they gonna hit them in the middle, birds gonna come dive down, hit them from on high, all while there's plenty of fish. We ain't really messing with one another, but as them fish numbers go down, if we hungry, hey, we might snatch one of these birds up, or we might get one of these seals that's hanging around. Just stuff like that. Shark Week did a great job of again delivering on the content. David Attenborough hop on the goddamn documentary. These creatures, though menacing to the eye, are really gentle mothers, or some shit like that, bro. Notice how I can't think of the fish, but they feed on the shark's parasites and right next to the shark, cleaning its teeth. Just stuff like that, man. Like, what do you people just complain just to complain. Shark Week also lacked effective, who is it? Jeremy Irons. I'm just going off, but Jeremy Irons, white British man, the voice of Scar, fucking narrated a lion documentary. It was beautiful. It was like Scar explaining his people to an audience, to somebody.
Africa. Here, the ancient dramas of nature play themselves out. Marditau, the mighty lioness, has lost her mate.
He's just telling the story of what it's like growing up being a lion. Like, bro, people should be looking at this shit just complain, bro. Shark Week also lacked effective messaging about conservation issues, researchers said. Though Discovery has used the show to promote legislation protecting sharks, so they're saying although they did some good, Shark Week rarely gave viewers actionable information about conservation issues, such as avoiding seafoods caught in ways that also trap and harm sharks, the study claims. Now, it sucks that she said that, but I'm glad she did, because all of the shortcomings are just coming to the front. She saying that not only did this show have to a network, or this week of content being pushed out of information, great information about sharks, although they did a little bit on promoting legislation protecting sharks, so some legal stuff, it rarely gave viewers actionable information. Rarely. So it did, just rarely, actionable information about conservation issues. So instead of giving us everything that we need to do, as opposed to people learning about it and saying, hey, I want to know more, I want to do more, and actually doing the research themselves to figure out how can they help, how can they impact their environment. Hell, what's your local marine wildlife, your local waters, what type of animals, what type of creatures live in them? Instead of a person doing that, she's saying, she putting it all on the network. Y'all should have done it. Avoiding seafoods caught in ways that also trap and harm sharks. I know plenty of people do that when they're trying to help the environment. They're like, we can only get fish that's been locally sourced or from here, all that type of stuff, man. Like, goddamn, can humans take it? Can individuals take any accountability? Can we do any work on our own? The study claims. But Whitenack and Bohannon agreed that the biggest concern was with the program's lack of diversity and how they might shape. That's the biggest concern. Y'all, I'm stuck on this. I'm emotional about this. I'm passionate about animals. And this is my first time that I'm doing an animal video, animal content. I appreciate y'all that's here this long watching this video. But just dumb shit like this, okay? It's not just diversity in like superheroes or cartoons. You know, we need the race swap Ariel. It just ain't that shit. This mentality is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's creeping into everything. And this is toxic because there's no accountability on the person, on the individual. It's somebody else's job to move your world. If that's the mentality, if that's how you see it, if don't nobody else come move it, you ain't gonna get nowhere. So that's why you got these folks saying, hey, we need more people of color. First you came out and said women. It was like, damn your passion if you ain't that. The biggest concern was with the program's lack of diversity and how that might shape young scientists' perceptions of marine biology and whether they could enter the field. I ain't gonna stop there. Diversity in people brings diversity in thought, which ultimately brings innovation, Bohannon said. Being able to see someone who looks like you in this field really has an impact. Here we go. This diversity in people brings diversity in thought. It does if it's organic. If it's forced, and if you're already setting that, okay, you need to hire a person based on this, if they check these boxes, then what other boxes or what other standards will they set for those people? Okay, well, you have to, be this color. What is it, like this shade, or that's what I mean, what level of melanin, brown, all that type of shit. Like Peter Griffin pulling out the card or like they're pulling out the card on Family Guy with the different skin tones. It's like, then you're going to get discrimination like that. Bring all of these other fucking issues when you focus on those type of things that ain't got nothing to do with the actual fucking job. Do you love sharks? Do you want to save their lives? Whitenack said Discovery hasn't contacted the research group. Bro, I ain't mad at your Discovery. Just ignore them. They'll go away. Is she happy that she got the fucking job? You be the person. Go make your fucking show. Get on YouTube. I don't know how all of this stuff works, but if her job will allow her to just put information out there, go do your own personal research, lady, and make the podcast about it. Go to somebody and say, hey, I'm trying to give me a show. I'm a woman. I'm trying to be out there for all the little girls that want to be little marine biologists out there. And if she has the credentials, if she can actually put out the work, do the work. Come on, lady. Come on. You want your little shark puppet? Who's the target demographic? You trying to talk to kids? I say, you want a puppet? Will that help get the message across? Come on, let's save them goddamn animals. In 2020, National Geographic developed a partnership with minorities in shark sciences that allowed members of the organization to participate in the network's competing TV program, SharkFest, Bohannon said. 7 scientists of color from the group appeared in this year's programming. I ain't got nothing to say about that. Again, you allotting resources to a certain group of people. Then it's like, man, am I really here because I can get the job done or just because I look a certain way? Bohannon appeared on SharkFest twice to talk about nurse sharks in the Bahamas and how they have adapted to swim in shallow water. It felt like a milestone, one she wishes more of her peers get to experience. Just seeing myself on TV, Bohannon said, it was very surreal. So I'm glad she said that. And that's what I thought this whole article was just from this one person, but it's not. It's from these two different ladies' perspectives, but they basically preaching the same message. But this right here, now the thing about this is, again, I was watching all of this stuff growing up, and as I'm watching it, and this is also what I mean by like accountability for the individual, moving your world on your own, in a way. As I'm watching this stuff, yes, my Black father introduced me, I think, from a young age, as early as I can remember, these animals doing stuff, living life. That was beautiful to me. That was wonderful. And anytime somebody would come in my house and I'm watching this, Black, they Black for the most part, and they just like, why are you watching this boring ass shit? Why are you watching these animals? You are never going to actually be with them. So why do you need to know this stuff? And I'm like, that mentality, that box that these people allow themselves to stay in, I knew I didn't want to be in that box. I'm thinking like, well, this is a part of our world. I want to know what's out there, as opposed to, just the animals, just the stuff that I see around me. Like, I do want to be exposed to all this different stuff. I want to be knowledgeable. What if I am in a situation to where a fucking wild animal does something, or is close and nearby? Like, I want to be equipped to handle that situation as best as possible. I want to know what to do. Is this the type of animal that I should confront? Not turn my back on? Just stuff like that. Stuff like that you should want to know, I think, just because it is a part of this world. I'm not saying you got to be passionate about it, but that mentality of why educate yourself further? Why expose yourself to this? Why do something different? And that was the culture. That was the culture that was around me for the most part. And no amount of stuff on TV can change the mind of those individuals who aren't even willing to receive that information in the first place. But I was. And these people, again, did not have to look like me. Just the fact that they were doing it, they had a job, they're out there in fucking nature. Steve Irwin chasing down fucking Komodo dragons and snakes and, jumping on crocodiles and shit. And then the Crab Brothers, like I said, having all these animals coming through and they're hanging with them. Zoboomafoo made me feel like, or inspired me, maybe I will do it in the future, or have me a show where I'm educating kids about animals, and maybe there's some animation or some stuff going on like that. It's like you can find passion, you can find drive or inspiration in anything. It doesn't matter what the person looks like that is doing it. Just knowing that it is possible, and in getting out of that closed state of mind to where, because someone doesn't look like me, it's not possible. Now, when it came to art, again, a lot of people around me, Black folks, would tell me that was white folks shit, or the only thing that they could tell me was you can do tattoos. You can do tattoos, and some would say graphic design. And I don't want to do tattoos. I didn't want to do tattoos, and graphic design, it includes so much, and these people didn't even know what they were talking about when they were saying it. But nobody was telling me that, hey, you can animate, or you can make comic books, or you can design this and that. It was just like this. If I only listened to the people around me, I was gonna be stuck. I was gonna stay right here, and I had to open my mind to these newer experiences and all this new information to help me to become the person that I wanted to be, that I feel like I was put here to be. But like I said, just exposing yourself to information. And then again, yes, with this mentality of I need to see somebody that look like me. What if they look like you and they ain't shit with that you are? What if somebody looking at The Rock thinking he just like just black, 100% black, and then find out he's something else, and it's like, well, fuck. Restart. What Black folks doing? Or what if somebody you get what I'm saying? Like, how far does this genetic shit really go? And is there really doing anything positive for the cause, for the work that you're doing? All right, people, go ahead and leave me a like or a dislike on the video. If those buttons are not enough for you, then tell me how you really feel by leaving a comment down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Basically. But what are your thoughts on this article? How do you feel about this diversity, representation, argument, and especially when it comes to like driving people's passions and inspiring them? I mean, if you find any value in my opinion whatsoever, you want to hear more of my thoughts, I appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
So I'm not sure I get you.
Give me a real fight.
Any of you guys read that chapter in The Art of War about misdirection?